YouTube. How's it going, everybody? Addy R back with my second video for Season 9 of Torchlight Infinite Outlaw Season, dropping July 17th, 10 p.m. EST. And today I just want to talk about some of the things that we saw in the preview video. More specifically, I want to look at the tower crafting and what that potentially offers us going into this season. Last season, with the Oasis season and Sandlord, we got blending, which was a huge power that we were given on our builds. This season, blending is still going to be in the game. It looks like the only thing they're removing from the blending is going to be the hero traits themselves. Everything else is it looks to be staying on the blending. We'll have to see if there's going to be any changes to that, but we can get into that once the actual season drops. But right now, let's look at the tower crafting. I think it's going to be exceptionally powerful, especially for characters who are not using two-hand weapons, just because it was stated that you can put the tower craft sequences on both one-handers and shields, which means that if you're dual wielding, you can potentially get 2 tower sequences. And if you're sword and boarding, you also get 2 tower sequences. Whereas if you have a two-hander, you're only getting that 1 tower sequence. However, to balance this, last season, we did get some very sizable and very notable buffs for two-handed weapons. So I think this is going to help even that gap out a bit, because if you recall from last season, the two-hand buffs were pretty nutty, and most people that could use a two-hander were using a two-hander. The affixes that we got on the two-handers were absolutely insane. The changes to their ultimate implicits and like on the ultimate gear was insane. The lucky lucky critical strike with the enhanced critical strike chance, which has been nerfed this season. It's just two-handers were absolutely in a crazy spot. And I think blending is going to help bring that in line just a bit. I've got a couple of screen grabs from the actual preview just so we can like really look at some of the power that we're actually getting. So let me go ahead and just hop into some of those right now. When we did the preview for the video, we only got to see a wand and a shield be placed in here, so we don't know the full depth of what all you can craft, unfortunately, and it's not listed in the patch notes. So all we can really do is go off of what we've been shown so far. But what we've been shown so far looks very strong. Looking at the wand here, we have different effects. Like they mentioned this one specifically being like basically a low tier unique belt that you could have on your weapon now, which stacks with the belt, which is kind of crazy. So I want to look at some of the other stuff here. This looks absolutely insane. If you can balance out Spirit Magus and Aura Effect, being able to get Aura Effect for both of those is going to be crazy, on top of the origin of Spirit Magus Effect. However, Spirit Maguses did catch a nerf. Like the whole defensive packages of Spirit Maguses has been nerfed. So we'll see how that plays out. Absolute Order, it looks insane to me. 100 fixed order opens up so many things, where before, like even before, just having like you had to do so much to try to like slow down your order decay, and now you just don't even have to do that. Like that opens up so many slots on your in your slates to get even more power that it's absolutely incredible. The flat damage here, when you have like the flat damage here looks great. Surging looks insane. Surging looks actually insane. What? I don't even know how to describe how insane surging is right now. Let me move just so you can see what I'm talking about here. Boom. This right here, surging. -1 max spell burst, 50% chance to immediately gain 1 stack of spell burst when using a skill. Here's the question, and I've got this question for a couple of things, because if they stack, oh boy. If these things stack, does that mean you now have 100% chance? Do you have 2 separate individual 50% chances? We don't know, but it just seems insane to me. Thunderbringer also looks kind of interesting. I don't know. Like I haven't like really theory crafted this out, but you're getting additional, like I don't know. It just seems so interesting to me. Like I really need to think, we really got to theory craft this out, but it looks cool. Again, and then it's not even just like these bigger ticket sequences that look good, right? Like even some of the smaller ones look very like impactful. Phantom, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, Phantom is, it used to go down for every 10% life sealed. You got this effect. Now it's every 15%. However, you can now put this on a weapon and potentially on 2 weapons or a weapon and a shield. So can you now have triple Phantom? Because that's absolutely insane if you can. Again, we don't know, but like this is just like, we're just going over some of the things we've seen and speculating, right? Like that's what this is. But imagine getting triple Phantom, even in its nerf state. That would be absolutely astronomical. And again, we've already talked about having the order here is going to be crazy. Order stackers are going to go absolutely crazy this season. I wonder if there's going to be an opposite to this, where you have 100 points of fixed chaos as well. Both of those have some very decent merit, in my opinion. And then, of course, we see here we've got some more things. Defeating an enemy has a 20% chance to cause exploding, causing indirect physical damage, doing 5% as damage in a 5-meter radius. Again, we don't know if does this stack up to 40% chance, or is this going to be 2 separate individual 20% chances? 20% additional hit damage for skills passed by spell burst. Very strong modifier here. Getting +2 fire skill level and getting 50 affliction on, like, I mean, this is like, these sequences are going to be absolutely insane. Main skill is supported by level 20 control spell. That's a free candle mod. What? Like, what are we talking about? That's absolutely insane. 50% deterioration chance on critical strike. Also, like we're just seeing nothing but crazy stuff coming out of these sequences, and I'm really, really excited for that. But I'll be honest, what has me super, super excited is probably going to be the shield when we get to that in just a minute, because shield looks really, really, really cool to me. Let's just go straight to the shield. I just want to talk about the shield. I'm sorry. like, okay, yeah. Look, listen, we've got this stuff up here. It's crazy, right? Getting getting this is insane. Thunder Baptism converts 100% of erosion damage taken to lightning damage, plus 20 maximum lightning resistance. This is what? Listen, I know that people saw the buff to side content mobs, the 100% additional life and the 50% additional damage. We're getting a lot of power in these sequences, but here's the question. We ran into a bit of a issue last season with the blending, and I'm sure people are going to remember this. Your early game blending was pretty easy to get a hold of, but as you moved into like the mid tier and especially the late game blending, it became incredibly expensive or just incredibly difficult to source the materials needed to do so. And I just hope that when we get into the R&D and the sequencing in this season, that it's going to be a bit more accessible, we'll say, because last season it was rough, especially if you really, I actually don't know too many people that even got to the point that they were able to get a hero trait on their belt, for example, just because they got priced out. Anyway, back to shields. I'm rambling. Like, look at this. Your armor is fixed at 50% of your invasion. Evasion stacker is eating real good right now. You get mana stackers galore. This looks cool. Block ratio is set to 70%. I wonder, how does Outlaw work with the new core talent that sets you to 0? Do you have 70 or do you have 0? My gut tells me you'd have 0, but if this works in tandem with that and you can get the bonuses from block for the additional damage and get the block ratio set from Outlaw, that's going to be absolutely insane. Saint also looks pretty crazy. Minus 50% additional damage taken over time, and you're immune to crowd control effects if you've blocked recently. If you could set up like some self-damage thing, you'll always have this active. So that could be really, really, really interesting. Breach also looks like an interesting one. 50%, you lose 50% of your attack on spell block, but you gain 75% additional critical strike rating if you've blocked in the last 0.5 seconds. Again, if you could set up like some kind of self-damage system, this could go pretty hard. As long as you're setting up the self-damage and then you're blocking it, I could see that being pretty interesting. But again, it's not just the big ticket sequences that have caught my attention. You can get just an extra 20% attack and spell block on your shield. You can get 50% defenses from your shield. you can get +2 maximum elemental and erosion resistance. And this one here I find really good, because in the patch notes we've already got additional mods on our gear. Like the mod that's already in place for shields that used to give you up to 2% max elemental resistance, that now goes up to 7 to 8, which means that if you have that and you have this sequence, your shield could potentially be giving you anywhere from 9 to 10 additional max elemental resistance and +2 max erosion resistance. That seems crazy to me. That's so much defense that you're now getting. That's so much power that we're now getting on these items. As long as the R&D is going to be something that you can really get into, moving into it early, I think it's going to be enough to counterbalance all of the nerfs that have people worried. Again, it's just going to be a question of how accessible is this actually going to be when we're actually in the season, right? Because if it's hard to get to and it's not accessible, people are going to be a little bit upset with it. And I can understand that, because blending was a little bit, again, blending was great, but blending was hard to access, especially if you weren't a blaster and you like didn't have like a ton of money at the time. It was hard to get into that, especially once something got popular. The specific materials for that just skyrocketed, right? I don't think we'll have that same situation occur here, but I don't know the full ins and outs of the blending system and of the tower crafting system yet. Also, one other thing I want to talk about is going to be the hot streak crafting, or we've basically got Gamba from, like if you've ever done a card gamble in PoE, we've got that now. So you can try to gamble your fluorescent memories. You can gamble your corroded items. You can gamble your implicit items. And if anybody knows anybody that plays an ARPG, listen, we like to roll the dice, okay? I can't wait to see how many people just completely brick their items trying to go for broke, and how many people actually hit stuff, because I definitely plan to interact with this system. And it actually adds value to things that would be previously considered like bricked implicits, right? Because now this is just an item that you can sell to somebody that they can then, if you don't want to, they can throw it in the Gamba machine and just roll it and see what happens and try to like hit it big. Or you might lose it, you might get it, but like we don't know how it's going to play out, but it looks really, really fun. And with that, we're going to wrap the video. Thank you all for watching to this point. If you want to see my take on the patch notes, going over the skills, the changes, the legendaries, and the talent tree rework, I've got a video for that I will link down in the pinned comment. And if you've really rocking with me, throw a sub at the channel. I would appreciate it so much. We're almost at 2,000. We're less than 50 people away from 2,000 subs on the channel, and I would greatly appreciate your assistance in reaching that goal. And if you've got any questions or comments, drop a comment down below or hop in the Discord and ask me there. I'm always willing to interact with anybody who's got questions, so feel free. I'm Adiyar, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.